Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Dave Noodles. We are on the TYPE88 show where we talk to people about how they turn their dreams into reality. And today we have a special guest with us. This guy is using his voice to make the world a better place through his writings, his rhymes, his words, and his interactions with the world. So I want to welcome my guy to the TYPE88 show, Johnson Soldout. What's up, man?
What's going on? What's going on? Air horns and the soundboard and all that. But what's going on? What's going on, people? What's going on, Dave? Thank you for having me
Of course,
on the
man.
platform.
It's a long time coming. So, for anyone who doesn't know, maybe where are you from? Where were you raised? Where were you born?
I am from Jersey. I am and have been. I am 28, and I have lived in Jersey all 28 of my years, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you view Jersey.
No doubt.
I have lived in Bergen County. I grew up in Bergen County. Right now, I reside in Essex County. I've been here for about 2 years, but most of my life has been in Bergen County, in Bergenfield. So,
Yeah, I love Jersey. They show a lot of love.
yeah,
I love it. There's like so many different parts of Jersey. It's like 80 boroughs for me. So it's cool.
yeah, it's really immense. It's really immense. Like I have a job that requires me to do deliveries around New Jersey, and like I would have never known how you got like the city side of it, you got the farmland, you got mountains, you got the shore, and like, oh, it has literally everything. And we get all four seasons, so it's like I don't understand why. I get why people make fun of Jersey, but like I don't see why, because we have so much to offer. We're so close to New York City, so close to Philly, so close to New York State. I don't know. We got a lot
Yeah.
to offer, I guess. I
I,
don't, yeah.
I'm a fan. I'm a New York boy, but I definitely got love for Jersey. I got plenty of family out there and plenty of friends, including you, of course. So, Bergen County, how did that town kind of shape you? How was it like growing up there? The art scene, the poetry scene.
Uh, Dave Chappelle has a line that I always butcher, and I have to like rewatch the skit to get it correct. But he basically said that my family, my parents made just enough for me to grow up broke around rich white folk.
Yeah,
like like something to that effect. Like what I'm saying, my parents, salute to my parents. They did everything they could because my mom's originally from the Bronx and my dad's from the South, and they were living in the Bronx at the time, and they didn't want me to be, a product of that environment and go to school out there. So they got their money and came over to Bergen County. So I'm happy to say that they were able to give me that suburban lifestyle. So I don't take that for granted for anything. But it came with some interesting upbringings and interesting interactions. As far as the art scene goes, I mean, our band in school in Bergenfield was pretty notable. They usually performed at like Disney and stuff like that. But like outside of me, for me, I play trombone, and then they wanted me to go into the marching band when I got into high school, and I was just like, I don't want to do that. I'd rather just stay in the jazz section. But like the jazz wasn't like a class; it was like its own little separate club. So foolishly, I just quit trombone altogether instead of just going to the jazz club after school or whatever the case may be. And I wish I never did that because like having a musical background, like playing an instrument, is very difficult if at later points in life. I find so one day I hope to pick it up again because it's a really fun instrument to play. But I would say it also sparked my writing creativity too. Just because like me and my friends wanted to start this rap group, so we were always just writing, hanging out, and I just wanted to rap because at the time, this is around 2011, 2012. So at the time, a lot of that like snap music was real popular, Soldier Boy, and like the blog era was coming up and stuff like that, and it was just like, I can probably write a song or write lyrics and rhymes just as dope as any of these people coming up. And I was just like, why not try it? So, it was just a little fun thing. And like, even before that, I was just always writing in school,
Nice.
writing stories and writing fiction and stuff like that. So it was just, it just felt natural. It's just easy. You can just grab a piece of paper and just go to town.
That's amazing. Yeah. So shout out to your folks for, having a vision, seeing, making a plan for you and being like, what, we're going to pick up, we're going to go here. Every generation, I feel like we learn from the generation before us. And they were like, all right, we're taking our son here, and now you grow up in Jersey, and that's just cool. It's just, you were talking about being around people supporting each other, and that I feel is such a powerful thing, whether it's your hobby, something you do for fun, or your dream or your job, like just to have a supportive unit around you is huge. And you had that with your friends, writing rhymes, having just kind of that community is just so powerful. So what was the name of your rap group when you were young ones?
Oh man. Oh yeah, we were
Nice.
we were the swim team.
I like
Yeah,
obtuse
and,
names
I
like
wasn't
that.
going as a Johnson. Yeah, I wasn't going as Johnson Soldout at that point. I was J Johnson 1, cuz in middle school, I to log into the computers, they like took a combination of your first name with your last name, put like a number with it and da da da, and I just liked how mine was J Johnson 1. So I just kind of like stuck with that until I got to high school. And then like I was just like, oh yeah, that could be my rapper name, da da da. But so the real ones know J Johnson,
That's
Johnson
cool.
1. The old fans, but yeah, it was short lived to say the least. It was like one of those instances where we wanted to be instantly good, and there wasn't a lot of like commitment, and like everybody had their own agendas types of thing. And if we had just stuck through us sucking and build like chemistry and actually figured out how to like write songs and how to like incorporate each other's different styles and whatever, we probably could have been a thing of some sort. But you never know. But it is what it is. Everything
Totally.
happens for a reason.
Yeah, of course. And I feel like breakups inspire us to make stuff, shout out to Adele, Taylor Swift. Like, they've literally built careers on breakups. And this, of course, maybe wasn't a love relationship, but the deforming of your group kind of put everyone else on a new lane. And, it enabled you to kind of, all right, yo, I love this. I'm going to keep going with it. So that's cool. It's crazy, bro, because I've dealt with moments like that where things were kind of breaking, and I didn't realize like it was someone else shaping me for something else. But in the moment, I was so caught up, like, oh man, why is this ending? Where is this going? But then I saw like it was allowing me to go into this new path or create this new lane, and so I always say like a no opens up a yes somewhere else, or a closed window opens a door somewhere else. So
exactly, like if it's meant to be, other opportunities will make themselves appear at some point. So I'm a firm believer in that.
Especially when you're going after it. So after that, did you just decide to just keep going with the rhymes? What was kind of your transition point, after the group kind of split up?
So yeah, that was like, I want to say sophomore, junior year of high school, and then like senior year, I really wasn't writing anymore. I didn't really start writing until I got to college, which was like 2 years, I guess, after the group broke up. And I was chilling at a dorm room, with like my other friends and stuff like that, and one of them had to go. He's like, "Oh, I gotta go. I'm performing at the, I'm in the poetry club. I'm performing at the show." I was just like, "Oh, really?" It's like, "Yeah, it's on campus." Da da da. I'm like, "Oh, I want to go. I want to see this." So I went. It was like in a little venue, performance hall area of the school, and went, saw him perform, saw everybody else perform, and I was just like, I gotta be a part of this. And they were like, "Oh yeah, well, we have meetings." Literally, they had a meeting the next day, and then like from that, it was like history, kind of like reinvigorated that like passion to write again and stuff like that. So then after that, after I left school, because I only stayed for 1 year because one, couldn't afford it, two, wasn't really a fan of it. Ended up falling into that 9 to 5 dead end job lifestyle, and like just really angry and depressed and just not like fulfilled. And I just kept, the only thing that would keep me happy is just writing poems and stuff like that. So then I would eventually realize that, and I went into I started doing workshops, writing workshops, like poetry workshops in the city, and like the Bowery Poetry Club and stuff like that. And like that was around 2016.
You were going to them,
and
you were like a student. Gotcha.
Yeah, I was going to them. Yeah, I was going. So it would be like different poets with different accolades, whether they're real notable or like somebody that just went to school for it, whatever the case may be. And they would teach different, whatever their curriculum or whatever they specialized in. They would teach like anywhere from 4 to 6 week classes. So like every Sunday, I would take the bus into the city and just do a workshop and just meet up with all these different poets, and we would share our work and stuff like that. We would have a showcase at the end of it.
Dope.
It was real dope. Real fun. And I just continued on that until I started, making connections, networking, making friends and stuff like that. And people started inviting me to open mics throughout the city, in the Bronx, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Queens, whatever have you, Jersey even. Because at the time, Jersey's open mic scene was kind of like, unless you were doing slam poetry, which I wasn't doing. And I just kept going to shows. I kept going to open mics, and I was on that little Chitlin circuit, I guess, of like just going to open mics and talking and going on stage and just trying to get heard every time I go. And like everybody's be like, I was like, "Oh, you live in Manhattan? You live in?" No, I'm like, I live in Jersey. It's like, Jersey for like New Yorkers is such an obscure place. You know what I'm saying? Like people like know the Shore and maybe Newark and Jersey City, and everything else is like, to them is
gotcha.
Like far. Like everything else is like, so like I would say where I was at, and it's just like, "Oh man, it took you what? It's like over an hour to get to where you live." I'm like, "Nah, it's like without traffic I can get here in like 30, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
With traffic, closer to that 45 mark, but it's not that deep." The toll's annoying, but like, yeah. Like I would even say like the George Washington Bridge, and some people are like, "Where's the George Washington Bridge?" I'm like, "You don't know where the George Washington Bridge is?" Like everybody knows the Holland and the Lincoln, but nobody knows. It's so weird to me. Like some people don't even know like the George Washington Bridge. It's so weird. So it was just an anomaly, and like people were just like, "Oh man, you're really like dedicated and passionate about this. If you're coming out away from Jersey," I'm like, "I guess. I mean, I just like to do it, and it beats being at home doing nothing." So
that's real, man.
Yeah.
The two really solid gems I could take from that is, no matter that first event, you just picked up and went on your own. You didn't really wait for people to be like, "Hey, I'm coming with you. Oh, come to this." You just went on your own. And I feel like that's so powerful. Anytime like you have a calling or you have something that's telling you to, or something jumps out at you, we like having people with us. We like taking our girl or our dude or our homie or whatever. And then when they're like, "Oh, I can't come," there's times where we're like, all right, I'll just stay home too. But like you just went up, did that event, and look what that did to you. It lit the spark that was already there, but it like poured gasoline all over it. Because then you kind of tapped into more of a community. So that was one, and then two, you took the effort to invest in yourself by being like, all right, I want to learn from people that are really doing this, people that are really taking their craft more than just a little thing, or like a hashtag,
Yeah.
like people that really are about that life, that poetry life, and you invested in yourself taking classes, and then you spent the time investment. Some people may think you took a 5-hour trip, but you know it was only like 40 minutes because they didn't really know about Jersey. But
Yeah.
you took that trip either way. You paid that toll to get that knowledge, and that knowledge is key, man. And with that firsthand experience and learning from people that are getting their hands dirty and living it, that's so real. So that's fire, bro. Just to, and then you just kept getting your hands dirty. It looks like, because every time I turn on the gram, anytime I turn on anything, you got to show. I'm like, yo, this guy's touring more than Benny the Butcher right now. Like, he's going hard. So
Oh man, I wish. Dang, that's what it looks like. Oh man, I wish. We ain't not there yet, but I appreciate that, man. Yeah, man. I had to start going to the events. You have to start going to events. I had to start going to events solo because outside of the poetry, I'm just a big music fan. So anytime there was a show in the city, like I missed out on seeing Mac Miller. You know what I'm saying? So many times because people didn't want to go. I missed out on like so many different shows. I can list you so many different shows that I just didn't go to because people who I know are fans of these people also were like, oh no, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I don't have this, I don't have that. Everybody just had excuses. And then it was just like, yo, I'm missing out on all these great shows. So I was just like, and it was just also a fear of like traveling the city by yourself. And I got over that, and I was just like, I can't miss out on all these dope shows. So it's just like, just because nobody else wants to go with me, so I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna interact with people there. I'm just kick it solo. The thing with me is like I have no problem being alone. Like I'm cool with just being alone. And if I meet people there, I meet people there. I've met so many different, like I like to call concert friends. Like I'll just see them randomly at other shows, and that's like the extent of our friendship. It's just like we'll just like hang around each other for the show, and then we'll just go our separate ways, and maybe we'll see each other at the next one. But it's just, I don't know, it's just fun like that, it just makes traveling so much easier, because you don't have to worry about, alright, like, I gotta wait for this person, we're gonna meet up, and, like, you're just on your own time, your own schedule. If you want to stop and get food before or after, you can do whatever you want to do. So,
Rob.
Yeah. So, and then I applied it to the poetry, because it's just, like, we're lucky to live in probably one of the biggest cities, or near the biggest cities in the world, and the most sought out city. Everybody wants to come to New York City. Everybody wants to be a part of this phenomenon that is in this city, and it's just like, this shit is in my backyard.
Yeah, we're cool.
Sorry,
we're cool.
I meant to ask you before we started, but yeah, it's like, it's in my backyard. Like I can go to this at any time, and it's just like, you never know who's gonna be there, who's gonna be in the room, and what the opportunities are, and it's just like, it just helped me just learn a lot. Just doing all these shows and stuff like that. It's just so many different facets of performing, being a performing artist that I never considered, because I always would just write. You know what I'm saying? And then you learn that lesson of like, once you share it with the world, it's not yours anymore, which is like a lesson I'm still to this day still battling with, because it's like, I'll just be at home, like I'll drop videos, I'll drop a video on my Instagram, TikTok, whatever the case, YouTube, whatever, and then like day or two passes, I'm just like eating food, like just eating like some whatever I just cooked, and I'll get a text message of like this deep review of like of what I just dropped, like with like what they liked about it, what they didn't like about it. It's like, or like I'll get messages from people who finally read the book, and they'll be like, oh my god, it like touched me here, and like it made me cry here. I shared it with my kid, I shared it with my mom, and I'm like, part of it, I mean, obviously that's like so dope, but then part of it's just like, that's great, but I'm like not even in the mindset right now to like be reading any of this stuff. Or it's just like feedback that, I'm always appreciative of critical, feedback. It's just like, I'm not in the space right now to listen to, you know what I'm saying? I'm Justin right now. I'm not in Johnson Soldout mode right now. I'm like doing like personal things right now. But, it comes with the territory. Like I said, it's not yours anymore. So once you share it, people are gonna voice their opinions, their critiques, their reviews, whatever the case may be, and I'm here for like 90% of
Yeah, and it's like anything. You just gotta tune in and tune out. Like you need your time to rest. You need your time for the game. Or some people like the game. Some people like to meditate, yoga, whatever it is. Where you kind of, I like how Big Sean says. He says disconnect to reconnect. You know, like find a way to put a few things
Yeah.
to the side, so then you could zone in on whatever you're doing, even if it's nothing. And it's tough for me, bro. It's tough for me to just do nothing, even though I love doing stuff at all. But it's tough. And then, but there's value in healing to just kind of relaxing and maybe just watching a show or, and turning off for a bit. So then when you turn back on, you're charged up. So that's dope, man. That your work is impacting people. Fresh off the release of the book, maybe you could tell us a little about the book and how that came to be.
Yes, this book.
Yes,
This book
sir.
right here. You mean? This book right here. This is my first self-published little project that I was already working on, because the first project is usually like your life's work in a sense without you even realizing it. But thanks to the pandemic, it came to fruition. Yeah, it's just a series of different poems from like 2012, from when I was in college, to about 2019. The book came out in 2021. Officially, I got the audio version of the book. So if you like the luscious tones that you're hearing throughout this interview, you can get that in audio.
Where could they
version,
get that? Where could they get that?
Some videos.
The audio.
Amazon. For the physical, I got physical and ebooks. You can get that on Amazon. Physical is like $10. Ebook is like $6, $7. Don't quote me. And then the audiobook, initially was only on Audible, but I recently was able to get it on multiple platforms. So many platforms that I'm not going to list them all because it's over 100 different platforms. So anywhere that you can pretty much, except for Google Play. For whatever reason, I have an issue with Google Play, and I have to fix that because of the audio format. But anywhere you get audiobooks, you should be able to find my book. And if you don't, let me know, and I'll see if I can add it. But I'm pretty sure you can find. I know for a fact it's on Audible.
So is it only on audio book sites, or is it also on music streaming as well?
It is not on streaming, and I've gotten so many suggestions. Actually, you suggested to me that I should put it on streaming, and I am working on not putting this particular book on streaming, but I am working on getting poetry on streaming.
That's fire.
So that is something that is in the works.
Cool.
So, I know not everybody wants to read these days. So
nah, man. I encourage anyone that writes to also record. Especially if you do a performance, like it's crazy, especially as a poet or a spoken word or anyone that writes rhymes. Like even if there's no beat, there's just so much value and like so much soul to hearing someone's voice. Like I could read your poem, bro, and like it'll hit me. But like when I hear you do I Love Women a Lot, bro, it's a whole other vibe. Like I feel where you're coming from. I hear the inflections. I hear the things that really were the things that you really wanted to point out because of how you say it and the way you do it. So like I could preach and preach, but like I look forward to when it's on those. But yeah, make sure anyone listening, go get that wherever you get audiobooks, wherever you get physical books. Scattered is everywhere. It is scattered all over the internet, and that's dope, bro. I had no clue that it was from 2012 to 2020, right? Or last 9 years of work.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. That's all. Because I didn't know what I wanted to do as far as a concept for the book, right? And like, I just kept accumulating all these poems throughout the years, and most of them aged well, and I was just like, what can I do? And I was just like, scattered. I forget how that exactly came to mind. As far as like scattered, I think I was just looking for another word to encompass like just it being not only the time frame of when all these poems are written, because they're all different time frames, but they're all different emotions as well. There's gonna be happy poems, there's gonna be sad poems, there's gonna be angry poems, there's gonna be lovey-dovey poems, there's gonna be political poems, there's gonna be introspective poems, there's gonna be me questioning society. You know, there's a lot going on. So I figured, why not for the first book, just go with everything, go with everything, and then see what really sticks with people, and then maybe that'll help me figure out how to approach.
That's exciting, bro, and I'm hyped for you. You know, since knowing you've always been an motivation to me. You know, I love the rhymes, and you know your constant passion for people, doing events. So maybe, you know, we're talking about all this. I'm hyping you up. My guy's gonna live up to it. So maybe you could drop something for us right now. Whatever you're in the mood for, bro. Whatever you're in the mood.
Give him a little teaser. No, stop. Oh man. All right. I was trying to figure out which one I wanted to do. If I wanted to do one I usually don't perform. So I think I will. This one's called. Wait. What? Trains, planes, and grazing cranes. Am I insane or trying to keep a rhyme scheme? It may seem I have this poetry shtick by the seam. I'll keep pulling until I have it undressed. It being my mind, oh man, what a mess. Imagine a drag race taking place in hybrids on space. In between craters, I switch lanes until I land in the one of the creators. Not a deity, but creators in reality. Talks of religion end so dramatically. We all pray for new rain, but never dress for the weather. So we wither like plants during the fall equinox. I keep trying to find my mind in the box they put it in. Following the lead of my pen, it led me to the interweb. Of course my gray matter will be intertangled in the worldwide net, intermingling with people from foreign places they didn't teach in history. We don't speak the same language, but pain is universal. I play NERD's love bomb to eradicate any more thoughts of self-defecation. Music always has been the educator, an even better healer. I place my hand on the speaker box, it's like I found my real heart. The vibrations echo in my soul, I figure this is what peace is, and I formulate this thesis. We all have broken pieces, scattered. Like a jigsaw, no one has the time to play the game, so we play our favorite songs, hiding the pain in the hooks as we sing along and do drugs, consume bottom shelf liquor, watch TV shows that should have ended 4 seasons ago. 'Cause we only live once. Not long enough to solve this conundrum of a puzzle. Well, maybe y'all. I have time. I'ma live forever. The fountain of youth is in my living room. It's such a nice talking piece.
Feeling it, man. Thank you.
And that's that.
What was that one?
That's the piece. That is wait. What?
Nice.
That's the title.
So they could get that on Scattered.
One of the more. That is in Scattered, yes. In Scattered, live on Amazon and Audible and anywhere you get Audible books. Audio books. Audio books.
That's cool, man. Yeah, bro,
Yes.
it's just so dope, man. And it's so cool how you're turning the poems into videos. You're turning the poems into merch. You know, fresh off the release, I Love Women a Lot merch, which was really fun working with you on. How's the response been of the collab so far? I know people haven't got the pre-order, but it is shipping very soon, and by the time they hear this, they will be having it on, probably listening. But yeah, bro, you've been getting a lot of support from all over many different towns and cities. It's been really cool to watch.
Yeah, man. So for some reason, people like me. I don't know. I don't know. It's like a gift and a curse because it's just like I just exist and people like really just gravitate towards me and just have this like trust in me, which is like can be cool and a bit overwhelming at times. And it's just good to. I'm getting better at filtering people who are just using me for personal gain and people who are whether they're maliciously doing it or they're just doing it because they just need that help, or and just filtering between that and just filtering people who just genuinely just want to see me win and just want to do what they can to support me as best as they can, because it takes a village type of thing,
real.
So
That's real, bro. That poem is one of my favorites, and when you rhymed it to me, I was like, oh man, this is the one for the merch. So yeah, so for anyone out there that wants to support the merch, it's on stereotypeco.com, stereotypeco.com/Johnson Soldout, and it's the I Love Women a Lot merch. It just means so much because women mean the world to me. So when you said you wanted to make that merch, bro, I was like, yes, like any way we could, represent the women out there. They do everything, and they're the reason why we're here. And so
exactly.
it was just an honor to do something to show them love, and we did it in a simple way. And we felt it so strong. We said it so many times, and you'll see it in the merch. I'm proud of this one, bro, and I can't wait for people to start getting their pre-orders, and really see that when people get it. And it was cool, bro. We never really met in person, but because of the collab, yeah, it's crazy. But it's so crazy, bro. Like collabing with someone, it's such a sentimental thing to me, bro. Like, you're like my friend, like, and I just feel connected. We've had deeper conversations than I've had with people I've known my whole life. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. So anytime I do a collab, bro, it's very meaningful to me. And shout out to you for, wanting to show love to women with this new drop.
Yeah, man, I had to. They're the creators. They, like you said, we wouldn't be here without them. A lot of women in my life mean a lot to me. And I probably should have performed that poem, but there's a YouTube video of that poem that we're referencing. It's called, the poem's called Golden. I really love women a lot is kind of like the line that's repeated a lot, but the actual title of the poem is Golden. And you can find that on my YouTube, and you want to listen to it. It's a very, very fun and sentimental piece. But I just performed that one a lot, so I just wanted to perform something different, given the opportunity. Yeah, women. At the time that I wrote this piece, though, it was during a time where a lot of women were. I had a lot of women friends in my life that were going through domestic disputes and just ain't shit people in their lives, and like to the point where we thought we were gonna have to like band together to help our one friend because she had like a stalker, and we thought we were just gonna have to, do something about it because like you can't really rely on the police in situations like that until it's too late. So fortunately, it never came to that. Luckily she was able to get out of that situation, but it's just like you never know what could happen in this world, you know what I'm saying? And like to lay harm on women for whatever reason just never made sense to me, unless they like literally are at your neck with a knife. Like there's no reason that you should be doing anything foul to a woman ever, you know what I'm saying? Unless they're endangering you or somebody that you love, there's no reason to put your hands on women. There's no reason to talk down to women and degrade them. And I say all these things, I'm not saying I'm like Mr. 100% gentleman, and I don't have like my past history with women, and I say some like sexist things from time to time too. I'm a work in progress at the end of the day, and that's all I strive to be. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here trying to promote that I'm some like top notch excellent guy. Like I make mistakes too. I can admit to when I make the mistakes though, and I can work towards resolving them and bettering myself. So that's all I ever want to come across as is somebody that's just like a person that
Yeah.
is human. This really it is. It's human, and I hope that when I make mistakes, they're not crazy bad. Things of that nature. And I guess that's like just like the hard part of like also being an artist, and like I haven't reached that part of it yet. I'm still relatively indie underground, if you want to call it that. But like I think that's probably gonna be like the next, potentially like one of the ideas I'm playing around with as far as like book ideas or just project ideas of just like I'm not your hero, I'm not your idol, like do at your own discretion. Like, you know what I'm saying? What I do worked for me or didn't work for me doesn't mean it's gonna work or didn't work for you. You can just take that with a grain of salt, and you can add that to your list of possibilities. But I'm not telling you or promoting a lifestyle for you to follow. I'm just literally just living my life and putting it to words and music.
Real talk.
So I feel like it's crazy that people want to put all this responsibility on the artist, and I'm not saying the artist has like zero repercussions or liabilities for the art that they make, but at the same time, it's a two-way street.
Of course. Yeah, yeah. You know, the same way you were saying, we got to filter sometimes people in our life. We're dealing with someone, you know, we may have a gut feeling, or maybe people show their true colors. We may have to filter out our time that we spend with them. Like, we have to do the same with the information that we get. Got to do the same with the advice that we receive, because I'm, you know, we're telling people to go follow their dreams, but like, I'm not saying go starve. You know what I mean? You can't. People got to really. You got to take the advice with a grain of salt, but you also have to filter it out and then apply what works for you. And then you may see something doesn't. You may be like, okay, I got to follow my dreams at 1 a.m. after I feed my 6 kids. I may have to follow my dreams in the morning before I go to work at 2 p.m. because I do the night shift. So we all have a different grind, and I totally hear you, bro. You know, we look up to these artists. I look up to Jadakiss. I look up to, you know, I love Drake. But I know that the things they do, I can't replicate because, one, we're way different people. 2, we're in way different situations and different histories. But what I try to learn from people is like, yo, they work super hard. They were good to people. You know what I mean? They didn't stab no one in the back to get to where they are. We could learn a little bit, and then we could, you know, take little pieces and gems from it. But yeah, bro, that's real. I'm excited to hear this new work you got.
I am too. I am too. I never thought I'd be like living the lyrics that I used to like grow up listening to about like the struggle between making money, like putting money aside for studio time versus putting money aside for food, or putting aside for whatever bill is more a priority. You know what I'm saying? Making decisions like to hang out with friends or go to this show, hang out with family, go to this show, go to this event. It's like, dang, yo, it's really real. This is actually like people like, it's not like I'm living it. I never thought this would ever be my life, but it's like, it's become that.
That's beautiful, bro. You know, I think it's so important, man, to write shit down. Write down how you're feeling. It doesn't have to be a rhyme. It doesn't have to be a song or the next thing that we see on IG. Like, write down how you're feeling. It may even suck to do it. But, like, bro, my whole life, I think my only regret is not writing how I felt down. I feel like that's, like, my only regret.
Yeah.
You know, despite maybe donating my Jabot jeans, I kind of look back, I'm like, damn, I wish I had those. But writing shit down is like, because, bro, if I took the time to even reflect, it puts you in a different place where you're like, oh shit. Sometimes we're just caught up in this tornado, and you could just take a minute or two, and I started writing in the morning. Because, like right now, bro, after this interview, I'm going to be pumped. I'm going to get some pizza. I'm going to go play some Russ in the car or something, and it's going to take me somewhere else. I go watch the game, and before I know it, I got passing out watching Atlanta or something. But, like, of course, after the show's over, not during it. But, bro, first thing in the morning, I write stuff down. How I'm feeling, what's going on, how the weekend went, what I'm dealing with, and I'm like, bro, I feel more in tune, even though I've been in tune, but bro, I can't preach it enough though. Anyone out there, write how you're feeling down. It don't have to be the next rhyme. It don't gotta be the next hit. I don't even care if it's posted on IG. Do it for you. And I think that's a beautiful thing, bro, that you did. You were just writing no matter what. And you weren't putting all that out. Like, you took 9 years, to really share all those bodies of work. You did it. And how did it make you feel in that process, bro? Like, when you finished a poem, when you wrote how you felt, like, what did that do for you?
Oh, when I finished it?
Or just when you, like, it was inside you, and then you kind of let it go. Like, you finished it. And that, like, how did you feel once you finished that rhyme, or you even wrote something down?
The first time that I can remember my earliest, like, stage performance, it's funny, I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it. I didn't want to do it again. And it's my fault. It's not because of like the venue or anything I was at. I actually got to perform at the New Rican. I actually got to go on stage on the New Rican, which is like for people who aren't like into poetry or into that like scene. Like New Rican's a big deal. It's a pretty big and notable stage. Like if you're a poet or any type of artist, you probably heard of the New Rican or probably want to perform at the New Rican. But yeah, I was there. They were doing an open mic, and I brought like a few of my friends out, and I was gonna read a piece. And like I said, I always write. I never practice. I don't perform. So I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go on there. For some reason, I thought, this is gonna come out perfectly. Never rehearsed it, never practiced it. So I'm just up there on the stage, bright lights, trying to hold my book because I don't have it memorized. Trying to hold my book and talking to the mic. My hands, my whole body is just trembling. And, like, I'm stuttering and missing a few of the lines and stuff like that. And, like, I guess it's different for comedians. Because comedians, like, if you are trash, they'll let you know right from the jump. And the poetry community,
they'll like, snap you through it. They're like, come on.
Like,
you go. You got this.
Yeah. So, everybody was real nice, thankfully, which could be a gift and a curse, but that's a whole other thing. But people were a lot more lenient. I got off the stage, but people were like, oh, yeah, good job, great, you did well. Like, I'm just like, stop lying. Like, stop lying. That was trash. And it was just, but it didn't, like, people have that moment, and then, like, they'll get deterred, and, like, I, even though I said I didn't want to do it again, but it just made me, like, okay, why did it suck? Why did I, maybe I should have practiced. I didn't know this piece that well. Maybe some things just don't translate. There's, for the page, and then there's, like, spoken word performance pieces. Some things that you write don't always translate well on the stage, and some things on the stage don't always translate well on paper, which is, brought to your point of, like, how vital it is to have audio version. So you kind of, that's why I did both.
Yeah.
Because, like, and I try to express this to all my poet friends, too. I was just like, if you can get the time and get the budget. Luckily, my friend, someone I know since the second grade, he's my engineer. He was able to help facilitate that, because me doing it alone would have been a lot harder and tedious project. Not to deter people from doing it on their own, but obviously it's a lot easier when you have somebody that knows how to do it versus you trying to learn it on your own when you're just the writer and you don't want to be the engineer slash audio
Totally.
person. But I have a mic. I record when I can't make it to his house to record. And I encourage anybody that is in this realm of what I do, whether it's poet or you're just you write books, stories, children's books, whatever the case, have that audio version of it, because it opens up so many different avenues for you than just having a physical book, because we live in a day and age where people don't read. It just is what it is. People don't read. People barely read Instagram captions. You think they're going to go through 100 pages of your book? Like, some of your friends might, maybe your family will, but like, unless you can sell them on the story. And plus, we're always commuting. You know what I'm saying? People are commuting to work, to events, whatever have you. They're listening to it at their warehouse job or at their, cashier job through their AirPods and stuff like that. So why not just be in their ear as opposed to being in their hands, So
That's real, man.
I forget. Oh, we were talking about. I kind of trailed a little bit, but we were talking about the
Yeah,
performance.
so you learned a lot.
Yeah, it kind of just made me realize that like people don't care what you have to say unless you perform it correctly. I could say the dopest thing in the world, but if I say it with no confidence and a stutter, then it's just like, okay, like that was cool, but like it didn't really. I didn't feel it like I should have felt it. So it's like it kind of made me have to like, all right, I actually have to practice. Okay, I'm gonna have to like be in my room and read my poems out loud, or listen to. I hate listening to myself in recordings, but I was like, I gotta like toughen up and just listen to my voice and listen to my poems and listen to all the inflections and it just helps you because you just realize, like you said earlier too, like the way you say it. So it's just like you will say it and it's just like, all right, what if I change my inflection here instead of doing it here? Or what if I cut this line out? Will it transition better on for the stage and stuff like that? And that's the best thing about art too that I'm realizing. Like art is ever transforming. You know what I'm saying? A song could be done, a poem could be done, a painting could be done, but you can always improve upon it or add on it. You know what I'm saying? Especially in this day and age. They maybe didn't have that luxury 20, 30 years ago, but now it's just like people re-upload versions. Kanye West is a prime example of him. He'll drop the first version of the album and then he'll like drop somebody's verse or add another verse. He'll mix it differently. He'll add a drum. He'll add he's always constantly adding to his music and just re-uploading it onto the internet. So it's just like, in this day and age, why can't you do the same thing? You know what I'm saying? If you feel like, oh, you know what, I don't want this, I don't like this line anymore, it doesn't make any sense, or I want to add another line, like, just take it down and put it back up. Because, not to be mean, but, like, people have, like, short attention spans. They're not going to remember anyway. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's going to, unless you have the super fans. I don't have, like, the super fans yet. But unless you have the super fans that, like, study and digest your work, like, nobody's going to notice if you change the line or move the line or whatever the case. Like, so just do it. If it makes you feel better, it's your art. You can do whatever you want with it at the end of the day, too.
That's beautiful. I agree. Definitely agree. We're all works in progress, right? And the way you said, you could just add to it, and that's what we're doing with our lives. We're adding this, we're taking this out, we're moving this. Okay, this character is no longer in the game. Okay. Oh, but we got this, and it's like it's just what makes life interesting. And it's just this ongoing, evolving thing. And I love that about being an artist, bro. That stuff, I'm way different than what I was 4 years ago. I didn't know half the stuff I know now. And I always, highly suggest, and I think anyone can learn from what you did, go out there and invest in yourself. You're in the shirt game. Do you know everything about the shirt game? I would challenge you. Are you in the sneaker design game? Do you know everything about the sneaker design game? I would say, like, and why not? Right? Like, maybe, and you'll never know everything, but could you learn something new every day with 10 minutes on YouTube? And could that 10 minutes double your income? It could. Just learning little things often add up, and it's not taking a whole class every month, we all learn differently. Like you said, you may go on a class, you may go physically in a class. Some people do a skill share, or they do the master class thing, and you hear Nas say one thing about how he performs during a master class, and you're like, what? You know what I mean? I recommend. That was powerful, bro. Just hearing about how you were just hungry for knowledge, and you were like, all right, I'm going to the city. I'm going where people do this, and they live this life, and they're about it, and they do this for a living. I'm going to live it too. It's beautiful, bro.
That's the best way for whatever your career is. You're a cook, you a chef, you a nurse, doctor, lawyer, a mechanic. Like, you gotta go learn from people that are doing what you're doing and that are good at it, or great. Not even good, but like great. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, like, if you aspire to be like the best at what you do, then you have to learn from people that are the best that are doing it. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's following them on social media, watching their interviews, going to, if they do have master classes and stuff like that, or any type of event, if you have the honor to meet some of these people. Like, I've met so many people randomly that are like big. Like, I met Punch from TDE, and like that was such a random occurrence that happened, and like I learned so much from him in a matter of like 2 to 3 hours that I wouldn't take that back for anything like that, So it's just like, if you have an opportunity to meet people that are doing the things you do, do it. Besides, the work, because you can only get so far, and that's the thing that I've realized. I realize a lot of things. That's one of the things I realize. I can only, that self-made, self-made thing it's impossible. It's like outliers. Like, there's certain outliers that probably got to the point they did by themselves, but everybody has a team of some sort. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got help from somebody. You either got a team behind you, or you went to somebody that's doing what you want to do, and you learned from them, and you took mentorship. And there's nothing wrong with that at all, because there's only so much you can do and learn on your own. And there's only going to be, you're going to reach a plateau, and you getting that mentorship is going to help you get over that plateau and keep going up, because it's like, that person's like, oh, this is what happened when I was in that situation. Have you tried this? Have you tried that? Have you tried again? So this is where that, like, listening for advice and stuff and seeing if it applies to you works out. Because if you already tried everything by yourself, maybe going to somebody that's been in that situation with a different mindset and viewpoint can help you see something that you can't see for yourself that's right in front of you.
Real talk, man. Just being around people that are living it, whatever that thing is. Like, the last few weeks, bro, I spent time, I've been talking to my good friend's father, who owns mad property. Like, he didn't even realize, he forgot that he owned a plot of land in New Mexico that he bought 40 years ago. Like, he just stumbled upon a deed. Bro, this guy's a hustler. Like, he goes hard. Like, he's first generation living in America from Egypt. Like, came from Egypt. Like, self-made for real. Like, came here with nothing. Bro, flipped and flipped and flipped. And, like, just hearing that, bro, hearing that story of just hunger and, like, it does something to you. Even if it just makes you a little hungrier. And it rubs off. And it's so true. Just being around people. Just having a lunch, bro, of last week. I went to IHOP with my good friend James and his son. And he's talking about this game, Cops game. It's a NFT game where you trade crypto and you could lose it or win it. Bro, like, talking to that 12-year-old, someone may look at him and like, oh, what does he know? He's so young. He just got his braces off. Like, literally, he just got his braces off. and I just had the first meal with his braces off with him. Bro, I learned so much in the 1 hour. It opened me up into like different types of crypto, NFTs, bro, and it lit a match under us. And like, you never know who you're talking to, bro, and we all have these gems. So don't, they always say don't judge a book. Don't, bro. I'm not telling you don't. Clearly you're out here learning. But like, we can learn from so many people, man. A 12-year-old that just got his braces off, who flips sneakers on the weekend like a monster. Or, my friend's pops who literally came here off the boat and just like living the American dream. We can learn from everyone, bro. And that's just so dope that, you're on this path of just growing, learning, sharing your vision, sharing your love for poetry with the world.
Yeah, man, at the end of the day, it just comes down to a question that I just ask myself, I ask my friends, I ask my girlfriends. It's like, how bad do you want it? We live in this era where it's the easiest to get money and get to where you need to go, and easiest to network with people that you would never, you know what I'm saying? I talk to people across the state. I talk to people across countries that I've never even been to. But I got, like, a quote-unquote connection because I know somebody from over there, And it's just like, you know what I'm saying, this device, yes, it can be used for entertainment and can be used to unwind and stuff like that, but it can also get you to where you need to go if you use it correctly. But a lot of people don't, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people use it as a distraction more than it's something that can benefit them. And again, not saying I'm perfect. I'm still learning. I'm still going through what I'm going through, and I'm working my way to where, I hopefully don't have to have a job, like a job, like a 9-to-5 job. I'm not saying that 9-to-5 jobs aren't good, because 9-to-5 job is what's helping me fund and has gotten me to this point. But at the end of the day, I feel like I'm somebody that just needs to work for himself. I don't like taking orders from other people, and that's just it. Some people are suited for 9-to-5s, and salute to you. Not everybody should be an entrepreneur. Not everybody should be. There needs to be a duality. Some people need to work for other people, and it benefits them for what their lifestyle is. So whatever your lifestyle is, go for it. But for me, it's just like I kind of just don't eventually want to separate myself from the 9-to-5 once the entrepreneur aspect and like the solo work that I'm doing can actually fund my lifestyle. That's real, bro. Yeah,
bro. And as someone who doesn't have a 9-to-5, like, I guess stereotypically, I haven't worked harder in my life. So like, you get to the point where you're working for yourself. But you've taken on these extra roles. Mm-hmm. You're doing the physical side of things, the mental side, the leadership side. And, bro, it's last year, 2021, we hit pinnacles of hidden moments, of special goals that I've always dreamed of, like almost twofold, which is crazy. But like, the amount of ass busting that I had to do was crazy. And like, but I look back and I'm like, damn, I learned this. I picked this up. I learned this. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like, it was the most laser-focused year of my entire life. So it's just, finding that, as you said, the duality, just figuring it out. And then how bad do you want it? How bad do you really want it, right? And then figuring out what do you even want. Once you figure that out, that's huge. Because if you don't even know what you want, it's tricky. Because it's cool, you're floating around hippie style. Nothing to get, shout out to all my hippies out there. And I'm not stereotyping anyone, but like, find that target. If you have a target, go. If it's so, you hit it when you have it. Once again, I have mad hippie friends, and I have hippie mentalities in certain ways, but like, I kind of mean it on like, whatever. It'll figure itself out. Like, nah, like, go figure it out. You know, so that was no diss to any hippie homies out there. It was just kind of like taking a laid back approach of your dreams. But yeah, man, that's some real stuff. I'm excited, bro. I'm excited to see what you got next. Where can people find you? Where can people get all this stuff, support you, and check out and follow your journey?
They can follow me on I'm on a slew of different platforms. I'm on Instagram is probably my main one though. You can follow me on Instagram at Johnson Soldout, JOHNSONSOLDOUT. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. Got the YouTube. Got the Twitter, LinkedIn, which is like a sleeper that I'm just realizing now, and I'm learning like I'm realizing that LinkedIn can have a lot of potential opportunities for me. So I'm learning about the LinkedIn. I'm on a different slew of things. I got a little link tree. Maybe I'll have a website up by the time this is up. I don't know. But that's probably on my list of things that needs to get done, having a website and not relying on these third-party, Instagram. Because, when Facebook goes down, that includes Instagram. So, hey, I don't want to be dependent on all these other platforms to get my content out. So, that's in the works. It's either a website or
there you
a
go.
list.
Yeah, websites. So, let me know. That's what people don't know I do that, but I've done several dozen of them. But yeah, bro. Anyone out there? Yeah. Go.
Yeah?
But yeah, this ain't about me right now. But of course, I'm always here for you, bro. But everyone listening.
It's your platform, though. You gotta throw out some. I do this too. By the way, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's true.
Together we go far.
That's definitely true, bro. Yeah, I'm grateful to have done many websites for many people, and yeah, it's just kind of like it's like a hidden talent. But yeah, we've had aWHERE Media for 5 years now. We've helped dozens of clients, but yeah, bro, holla at me. But yeah, everyone out here, my guy shared some wisdom with us. Invest in yourself. How bad do you want it? Go out there, go learn something. Ask your friends for feedback. Even if no one could go with you to the show, if it means something to you, if it's calling your name, go after it. Even if your homie's at work or your boyfriend or girlfriend's sick, like, if you got to be home with I'm not saying don't support them while they're having a tough time. Just say they have school. You know what I mean? You want to be there for your girl or your guy. I'm like eating my words a couple of times today. It's funny. But you know what I mean? Go out there. If something matters to you, if no one could show up with you, just go anyway. And my guy right here.
And create the moment. Create the moment. Everybody wants to wait for this perfect opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I could have declined this interview because I don't have the best camera. It's like, I can't do interviews because I don't have this crystal clear cameras with the nice microphones and stuff like that. Like, just get started, yo. One of the advantages, again, of the society we're in is just, like, you just have to be relatable. And if the quality is, if the content and the quality, if the content's there but the quality isn't, it doesn't matter because you'll eventually get the funds to up the quality. But if the content's always there and you're a true person and people vibe and connect with that, it doesn't matter. My videos look, well, outside of the most recent one I did with 11 visual, most of the videos I'm doing is just on my phone. Like, it's not the greatest of quality. It's not studio immaculate, like, Hype Williams, like, nah, just, I was like, oh, I got 10 minutes to kill. Let me go record this video real quick and just post it. Like, you know what I'm saying? The content is there. I still put effort into the words I'm saying. I'm not just like, but, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, once I get the budget, the videos are going to come out pristine. And, like, I'm going to have Tyler, the creator, and A$AP Rocky and all these other individuals direct my videos and stuff like that. Like, that's in time. But, like, I have to, like, work to get to that point. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing. Is just people just want that instant gratification. It's just like, it don't work that way.
That's real,
you know
bro.
What I'm saying? You gotta put in the work. You gotta put in the hours, the 10,000 hours, as they like to say. You gotta keep going, and don't stop. Because the moment you stop, there's too many people out here making content. So you're just gonna get lost in that. So if you're not at the forefront, you're just gonna be a memory.
And
So
you said some dope stuff, bro. You made me almost forget that we have a game that we play. It's called Dream On.
okay.
So the way the game works, I'm gonna throw a question your way. It could be they're pretty much no dream is too big kind of
Okay.
questions. I know recently on Insta you've been doing a lot of stuff that you've been dreaming of. If you could work with this or this person. So similar to that. So, first thing that comes to your mind. These are all off the top. I have no clue what I was going to ask you until right now. So let's get right into it.
Okay.
So if you could do a collaboration with any artist musically, who would it be?
Musically, any artist. Off
Yeah,
the top of
first
my
one.
head, right now, probably Pharrell.
Sick.
Just because he's, I mean, it's Pharrell. If you know who Pharrell is, you must not like
Bro.
listen to music.
Modern day Shakespeare, bro. He's so
He's
savage.
just great, great production, great hooks,
Yep.
good songwriter,
He's
very
everything.
deep, intellectual. I just want to be. I don't even care if we don't create anything. I would just like to just have a conversation like we had, like just have a conversation and just see where it goes. Because I
All
don't
right.
want to be out there. But yeah, like
I got
to
you.
have my
So
poems.
you lead me to my next one. You said
Yeah.
conversation. Of course, you said Pharrell, but if you could have a conversation with anyone living, who would it be?
Oh, there's this guy that I follow because I'm into like investing, stock investing in crypto and stuff like that. His name is Ian Dunlap, but on social media he goes as the
Nice.
Master Investor, and I would love to pick his brain because like whatever he says about the market, he's like 3 to 6 months early on it. And he's like 95% right about what's going to happen. If he says this stock is going to drop, it usually drops. If he says this stock is going to go up, it's going to go up. And then he's also into a lot of weird conspiracy theory things, too.
Okay.
So I just feel like it'd be an interesting conversation all around.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire, bro. If you could have a conversation with anyone who's no longer living with us in the present form, who would it be?
That's
Right?
hard, man. It's like I got like 3 names rattling in my head right now. The first one that came into mind was Minnie Riperton. I just think she's just such a amazing soul and just a voice that
Yeah.
is just one of its kind. Like just nobody can, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
Mariah's close, Ariana's not
Yeah,
that
yeah.
close, but like you know what I'm saying. If I had to compare, like she just seems like such a very happy, positive soul, and I feel like just having a conversation with her would just like no matter what mood I'm in, would just lift me up, and it would just make me feel better. If I can add to a second, real quick, my other one will probably be
R.I.P.
Mac Miller. Just because he was just again super dope, talented artist that I wish
Yeah, man.
had more time on this earth. But you know, everybody's time is their time, and you know whatever
Yep.
we think of that, it is what it is. But I would have loved to chopped it
Yeah.
up with him. Because I know that dude just sat in the studio and just created, and that's the type of mentality. I'll just be writing. I have like 7,000 different notebooks and stuff like that. So it's just like to just pick his brain about how he goes
Oh,
about
yeah.
creating. Would
He's
have been
the
real
man,
dope.
bro. R.I.P. to the homie. If you could open up for any artist on their upcoming tour, who would it be?
I don't know. I'm trying to like make it make sense because I'm very like
What's cool
logical
about
thinking,
this,
and I'm
even
not
if
really like
yeah,
trying
even
to
if
go off
Tyler's
just
tour's
emotion.
over, but it's Tyler, that's fine. You know, it doesn't. If they don't have to have a tour coming up like right away, but like you know, an artist that's
Oh yeah, it's not even on that aspect. I'm like thinking more
of
logically,
course,
like
of
if it
course.
makes
That's
sense. Like Wayne is my
there you go.
favorite artist, but I don't know if I want to open for a Lil Wayne concert. You know what I'm saying?
That's
I don't know if I
passionate.
want to open for Lil Wayne necessarily, but me opening for Tyler makes more sense. I would like to open for Tyler Creator. That'd be dope.
That'd be crazy, bro.
Or some, yeah. Let's go with Tyler Creator. I can do that. I would do that.
That's
I would
real,
definitely
bro.
do that.
If you could perform at any festival,
1000%.
which one would it be?
I don't know, man. I don't go to festivals. I would perform. Actually, no. I take that back. I would go. I would perform. Funny enough, I would perform at Tyler's
Camp
the
Fox,
the
yeah.
the Cat Flognog Carnival, because at least between sets, I can probably get like a corn dog and like go on a roller coaster or something. Like I feel like all these other venues is usually when artists are like getting into beefs or having those like awkward interviews with random people from all different types of news sites and stuff like that. It's just like I don't. I want to have fun. I don't want to like.
Yeah, yeah, no,
I
that,
don't know.
that I've never been, but it definitely sounds like a youthful spot and a lot of carefree vibes, for sure. If you could,
They booed Drake.
that's
They booed Drake at that freaking
that's
festival, man. I
that's
gotta
crazy.
go there. Yo, that's like who? In what world? In what reality does Drake get booed at? You know what I'm saying? Like, where Drake is not this. His mega star
Was
status
it
is
because someone else
irrelevant,
was gonna perform?
and he gets
I don't
booed.
remember, but yeah, I don't even get that.
I think that's what people were saying. Like a lot of people were saying they expected Frank Ocean, but I just don't think. I think people who are Tyler fans saw Drake and didn't know that him and Drake have a history of like friendship, like they're actually friends on the low. But since they don't post pictures every 2 seconds of them on social media, people don't tend to know that. Just like how like people are surprised about this ASAP Rocky and Rihanna thing, and I'm just like, yo, they
Yeah, fashion
been
killer, babe.
like canoodling
Yeah.
for. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they've been in each other's pants for mad
Yeah.
years, but whatever. Yeah, I think people were just like, Drake is seen as this like mainstream sellout pop star. He doesn't write his own raps, whatever you want to call him, whatever you want to say about him. And Tyler is like the opposite of that, essentially. So like, people are like, Tyler, what the? Why are you working with this sellout? This mainstream? Like, yeah, I think that's what it was more
Yeah,
of. Like, coupled with the Frank Ocean like not showing up, I think it was a
I wish I
combination.
could see the whole clip because sometimes we see 10 seconds of something and it misrepresents the whole experience. You know, we could tap into many different clips of different things, but like I sometimes question that, like, because Drake has such a capture of so many audiences, and I don't see how Tyler's and his don't overlap. So I kind of question it. It seems a little
That's what I'm saying.
funky, just because I just can't see Drake getting booed really anywhere but like a KRS-One concert. You know what I mean? Like it just seems like too much of an overlap of. But I want to like I demand the whole video of that. You know what I mean? Like I'm like I question stuff like that because it's like. But either.
I just felt bad for Drake because when Tyler usually gets them like super starry people to like headline at his carnivals, he usually gets them to perform like the deep cuts and the album cuts that people his personal favorite, and he got Drake to do that, and it's just like that's how they're like real friends because like Drake's not out here performing his like album cuts
Yeah.
like that. So like the fact that he was doing album cuts and like his like Lucy's that people may have forgotten about and people still booed it. I don't know. It was just funny to me. I felt bad for him because at the same time it's just like he's definitely doing him a favor, but it's just like it's fucked up that the audience isn't.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know. I question it.
But
Yeah,
it
exactly.
created a
I think
moment,
Drake
nonetheless.
is infamous for creating moments. So, and some of them he may take a temporary L or like a 0.2 second L, but the bounce back is super strong. But yeah, but either way, but you know what? I love this game, bro, because not too often. A lot of the time, we keep it honest with ourselves. Oh, I could do this. I could just afford this. Oh, maybe that trip. Maybe. You know what I mean? Like, I like this dream. I like the no dream is too big questions because, bro, you never know who you're talking to. You know, your dream may seem crazy in the moment, but you never know, bro. You could be talking to freaking A$AP Rocky's brother at an event, like at some horticulture event. You know what I mean? Or some holistic retreat. And you don't even know, bro. Like, so, like, I always encourage, share your dreams. They may seem crazy to you, but you never know who's listening. You never know, especially if people like you and love you. You know, and you're out here working hard. Things align differently. When you're out here working hard, you're sharing your dreams. You never know who you're talking to, bro. Bro, I literally, Jay-Z is no longer 6 degrees of separation, bro. He's literally 3 for some people. But, like, my challenge is, have you asked anyone to talk to him? Not even him, but, like, you want to meet Benny the Butcher? Like, you could talk to him if you really tried. You could get people's attention if you really tried. You know, like, so I like this game, bro. Like, I like igniting these ideas in people's minds because a lot of the time we don't think of the crazy dreams. And I'm guilty of it too. I keep it real. I'm like, okay, you know, I could get the 5-bedroom. You know what I mean? And, like, you know, being honest with yourself is key too. But, like, do you think Kanye, bro, was having... Bro, people were probably looking at him like, yo, what's this guy even on, bro? Like, or even Steve Jobs, bro. They're probably like, what is this guy even on right now to even be saying these things? And then look at the change that they've made in their industries and the world. So yeah, bro, thank you for sharing your dreams with us.
Yeah, yo, it's funny you said Bunny the Butcher because he had a show in Montclair, New Jersey, and I was in the day I met him, we was in front of this chicken spot, like, a couple towns over. We was just outside the chicken spot, you know, waiting for our food to get ordered, and he comes walking from, like, the distance, and somebody, you know, I don't got the best eyesight, so somebody's like, you know, my boy was like, yo, that's Benny the Butcher, and I'm like, where? And he's just like, it's him coming right towards us right now. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, what the why would Benny? I didn't know at the time he had a show, like, in around that area at that time. And he literally walks up with his crew, and I'm like, what? This is so random. So it was like you said, when you said, it was just like, yo, like, you never, especially when we, in this New Jersey, New York City area, you never know who's just going to be walking in the streets, you know?
Real talk. The butcher coming,
just never know.
You know, and that's real. So yeah, bro. Yo, bro, you're always welcome back to the show. I appreciate you sharing your dreams with us. You know, sharing your experiences and the lessons that you've learned. So many little gems that, you know, I could hit the rewind button on when I'm having a tough day. So, bro, I appreciate all your info and all your stories.
Thank you for giving me the platform to babble on, to just talk my stuff, and I appreciate us linking up, meeting, doing the collab, and future endeavors, whatever they may be, or just, you know, just having you as somebody to talk to and eventually kick it, because you are a man of many talents. I've come to realize.
Much love, bro.
So, and you're just a good conversationalist as well. So it's just like, he's like, he can, like, some people are like, just, some people don't have that good mixture, and you have, like, everything. You have a personality, you have good conversation, you have skills and talents, and you have dreams and aspirations, and you see things further than a lot of other people, which is like, I can't be around people with such limited views anymore. It's just, it's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good for the growth.
It's balance, right? I feel you. There's people I talk to, I'm like, oh man, you know, I want to talk about more than the game, but then I'm like, all right, cool, you know, they like talk about the game. But then that's why I love these convos, and my guests, you know, like yourself and so many amazing guests, they want to talk about their dreams and things that matter and what they went through. And I love that. I could literally do it all day. I could probably not have a job if people wanted to do this all day and pay me for it. Like, I could probably make this my job. I love talking to people about dreams so much. But, you know, to me, it's a passion project that I just love, and it's healing for everyone. And, of course, bro, thank you. You're always welcome back.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you for letting this passion project be more than just a dream and actually come to fruition. Again, scattered.
Go get
If
that.
you made it this far into the interview, remember, once you click out of this, make sure you go over to Amazon, get you a copy of my book, get the audio book. Then you're going to go over to Stereotype/JohnsonSoldout.com and get you some merch.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Tax return season is upon us, so I know some of y'all are going to get some money. And by the time this is out, I'm sure them checks are mailing or getting direct deposited. So spend that money on, you know, a nice guy like me that informed you some things and like made you laugh probably, or made you think of something. You know what I'm saying? Who makes you think and laugh at the same time
That's
these
real.
days?
Yeah,
huh?
go get that. Go get that merch. Go get that book.
Come on.
And remember, we've been dreaming for the evening, but it don't stop there. Go out there, make it happen. Write your goals down. How bad do you want it? Invest in yourself, and don't stop.
Don't stop.